in gear, getting it going. His drive wheels sliding on the ice on the Nyberg Road overpass. This is an area we've been kind of focusing on all morning because, you know, overnight it just iced up like crazy. I-5 northbound in particular, it was down to a trickle, cars getting by on the shoulder because there were big semi trucks that slid on ice, and one slid off into the median and others were blocking the roadway. So it's better now. There's traffic flowing again here. I-205 south is really slow though, getting to I-5, so if that's part of your commute, be aware of that. It's backed up because of some previous crashes there. And you see trucks off to the side. They've had to put on chains just to get through this little section of I-5 and take them back off again. But I will say that the pavement that we're getting on right now is much improved from what it was over the last several hours that we've been traveling out here. I know I've seen the trucks. ODOT was putting down a whole bunch of de-icer. Now, should they have used salt? It's not an area they usually use it. Well, maybe that's something they'll be talking about after this. But the de-icer, they were putting it down heavy, and it eventually paid off, and you see the result here. It's looking better as we go I-5 north here. And hey, the snow stopped too. That's great. I think it ends completely forever in March, right? Is that right?
It's only 2 days away.
Don't jinx us. Don't do it. All right, Tim, thank you. And again, we just want to welcome everybody who's watching us on whatever social platform, our website, Twitter, Facebook, wherever it is. Good morning. Leave your comments in this section here if you have questions for Rod. You want to put Rod Hill?
I thought you were going to say leave your comments.
Well,
leave your comments to yourself.
Leave your comments or your questions. I just want to read a couple of them. Jean saying McMinnville schools are closed. Huh? Sarah Patrick, she's out in the gorge. She goes, it's so windy I can't tell if it's snowing or just blowing snow.
They had 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Crown Point over the past 24 hours. We think this afternoon it'll still be windy out there, but the winds will start backing off and be not quite as bad.
So you can get a personalized forecast if you leave your comment below.
Nice comments.
Let's see. Tim is watching and listening both on his phone and TV. Good morning. He's like doing double here.
Typical man.
Let's see. Rebecca says huge power outage on 82nd south of 84 to Burnside. Traffic lights out. So if you're heading in that area, just
what was that at?
She says on 82nd south of 84 to Burnside. Not
okay, Keely Chalmers not too far, southeast 82nd and Foster.
Anyways, and then Sandra's watching in Columbia County. So good morning, everybody.
You know who can answer that? The man who knows all the roads, Chris McGinnis.
Well, I know where it is, but I haven't seen the traffic cameras out there. I can tell you, though, obviously that was an area that was getting hammered with those east winds, although a lot of us were yesterday, right? Let's take you down to Salem, an area that also got hit with the snow. This is I-5 near exit 258. A little bit of snow coverage there. We'll switch gears. We'll get you off the freeways, but some of the main arterials through Salem. Of course, Salem-Kaiser, one of the districts, one of the many districts that is closed today. This is near the intersection of Commercial and Fairview, and that, I think, typifies a lot of the areas that got the snow last night. Anything untreated that got compacted has turned into ice, and that's why we are dealing with an abundance of caution this morning with all those school closures. I-5 near Enchanted Way, that's a little slick as well. Let's get back to the freeway map. I do have one closure on the west side. ODOT reporting a crash on the Hillsborough Highway 219. This is near the town of Shoals and the intersection with Shoals Ferry. Highway 219 is still closed. I want to get you back over to the east side. This is a look at southeast Portland. This is near Belmont and Cesar Chavez, and you can see, again, that's looking a little slick out there. I'm sure that PBOT's been out there, or would be pretty confident that PBOT has been out there with some of their de-icers, but in any event, it looks like it could be a little slick there. We'll go back over, where's this? This is going to be Powell Boulevard near 28th. It's nice to see that that is near or down to bare pavement. So kind of a little hit and miss, but a lot of folks dealing with slick stuff this morning, guys. I'm going to slide on over to the traffic booth and get a few more cameras queued up for you.
All right, watch your step. Hey, we are hearing this morning that there are some power outages.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, PGE is reporting about 3,000 people without electricity this morning in the Montevilla neighborhood, southeast Portland. This is right near Mount Tabor. Keely Chalmers is heading in that direction. Portland police are wanting everybody to know if you're commuting that way. If your light is out, of course, you treat it as a four-way stop. Right. Just be really careful. But about 3,000 customers of PGE without power in the Montevilla neighborhood.
I'm honestly surprised that we're not hearing about much more widespread power power issues because, like, even last night the wind was blowing so loudly that I figured a tree was going to topple at my house. It was that intense. So
yeah, and you're up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Wind was whipping up in the West Hills as well yesterday, and we saw snow blowing around this morning.
It was wild.
What we are hearing about right now are school closures and school delays. We can bring you those right now. These are all closed. Everyone on the screen closed for the day. We lead off with Portland Public, Salem Kaiser, Beaverton, McMinnville, David Douglas, Tiger Tualatin, Lake Oswego, North Clackamas, Oregon City, Westland, Wilsonville. I believe, and now our producer Rob is going to have to confirm this for me, when we're on these digital platforms, kgw.com, or if you're watching on our Facebook page, wherever the digital source is that you're watching right now, I don't think we have the crawl on those.
No, I don't think so.
We don't have any more updated school closures to show you. We can announce them out loud, as we will try to do throughout this continuing coverage, but there you see some of the biggies that are closed today. No school because of the weather.
Want to touch base on some comments from all of you guys watching. Thanks for tuning in on our extended coverage. Let's see. We have Joe's watching in Indiana, sunny and 60. Joe, don't tease us here.
Jealous.
Let's see. Kim says, calm down. It's dry and it'll be gone in the blink of an eye. Kimberly's asking Rod, will the snow be gone by Saturday?
Oh, yes. So it looks like the final chance of any snow is Thursday overnight, but that may actually turn out to be rain. We start being dry Friday. We warm up into the 40s. Saturday, still have us dry and up to 52. So, I mean, let's face it, we only have, at most, we have a couple inches of snow to melt down in the Salem area, and we're going to be getting up to 37, maybe 40 today. Most of that should be gone. We have a chance for another dab of snow overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, but then we'll melt that away. So, yeah, this weekend, it looks like this current episode that really goes all the way back through most of February will be done. How about that? Here's the radar right now. So we have everything moving south to north. And notice, yes, we have confirmation from snow on the ground. A lot of you giving us those reports. Thank you for that. Really, from Astoria all the way down through Lincoln City and Depot Bay, we've seen snow on the ground. Most of this, I'm not really getting reports that it's accumulating. It's mostly just light snow or flurries. We think that we could be at least near freezing with little improvement as late as 8 or 9 this morning. After that, temperatures should, on a widespread scale, start to bump up. Icy roads will quickly improve, and then we'll get into a rain scattered shower mix this afternoon with temperatures anywhere from 36 to 40. But for the time being, if you have an icy road in your neighborhood, it's still ice because temperatures are still below freezing. In fact, we're down to 25 in Hubbard now and down to 29 in Kaiser and Salem, where we have a lot of reports of 2 inches of snow on the ground down there in the Mid-Valley. So, you know, for the kids that have school, it's freezing out the door, and we have that rain mix of scattered precipitation at noon and mostly rain shower scattered activity at 3 o'clock with temperatures as warm as 40 degrees. So, it's kind of the same deal. It's a cold morning. We have the snow on the ground, some icy roads. We warm up today, and it all goes away. Those east winds, if you're getting hammered, and by the way, it's likely the east wind, the reason that this time around we didn't have much out in Gresham, didn't have much up in parts of much of Clark County. Those east winds brought in really dry air and just evaporated the snow about the time this moisture started to head toward the gorge and started to head north of the Columbia River. Upper 30s here, Longview 39 degrees against some morning flurries, afternoon scattered rain mix. And then overnight tonight, more snow showers. It looks to be less than what we had this morning, but could be some light accumulations in spots causing some issues. Thursday warms up to 42. It's going to be a close call, but right now it looks like the rain showers Thursday overnight, at least for downtown Portland, could be mostly rain showers. And then Friday's daybreak, we think the showers end. We start a dry stretch that includes 52 on Saturday, 48 on Sunday, and 48 on Monday. And as I throw it back to you guys, extended forecast models still show we have to get through the first 10 days of March to start seeing temperatures most days at least be back to normal, which by then would be mid-50s each and every day for a high temperature.
Can't wait for that. That'll feel like summer.
I know, exactly. You know, real quick before we send it out to our crews in the field, I just got a text not too long ago about school closures. Banks, Forest Grove, Gaston, and Sherwood now all closed. Okay. Those keep coming in, so just FYI. We want to send it out to Drive 8 this morning. Tim Gordon and his photographer have been all over the place. It's a little bit of a surprise. I never know where you're going to be next, Tim.
Hey, well, Brenda, we're on Childs Road in Lake Oswego, side residential here it is. It's a glazy. We're going to actually get some elevation and go see how people are getting out of their hillside neighborhoods. But you see the glaze on the road here. It is definitely slick, I do believe. Chad, how's it feel? In this particular location, as we start to climb, and the roads are snow covered off of the freeway. Out in the freeway, there's still glazy, icy spots in places. ODOT's worked hard on that. We've talked about that all morning. But here we are on Childs Road, and we're starting to climb, and you can see that it is snow covered and slick. And there's a sign for deer crossing. So it looks like that looked like a mama deer and her doe. A picture of, so we should see baby deer coming by any time now as we climb in Lake Oswego.
But you have not run into very many people at all. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are seeing that. They live up there like, maybe we don't need to get out until later, you know, until the temperatures moderate like Rod has been telling us, and it just turns to all rain. We still have a little ways to go before that happens, Tim.
Right. Absolutely. Yep, for sure. It's nice that people are watching and paying attention, and hopefully giving them good information for their efforts this morning. And staying home sounds like a pretty good idea, I'd say. Nice warm fire.
I like the fact that Tim got off the main thoroughfares there and checked out some of the side streets, because there you see right there a great example of why that school district, and he was in Lake Oswego, decided to call it quits for the day, because some parts of each of these neighborhoods that is closed, they're dealing with trouble spots, and you know, you don't want to have one single bus slide off the road, obviously. So if there's one problem spot in a school district, they're probably going to shut it down for the day. Lake Oswego, one of those examples. We have a whole list of closures that we'll bring you as we continue this coverage on our digital platforms. Thank you to everyone who continues to watch us right now on KGW.com or any one of our KGW social media pages, including Facebook. And I love that, Brenda, because we can share viewer comments as we take a look right now, or a moment ago.
I can see you there, and I see you there, and I see you there.
It's probably prettier to see Pioneer Courthouse Square than to watch all three of us dive into my phone. But we are taking this look at Pioneer Courthouse Square while we share some viewer comments, and I thought it was pretty funny. We have a guy named Stanford Walker who follows us, I know, pretty religiously on Facebook. He says, "Where is my kale? Show the store shelves again." Stanford also says, "Hey, be careful, Brenda and Drew." He's telling us to be careful out there. Ashley, by the way, we pulled her off the news set for a moment because she's going to keep track of these social media pages and bring us the latest viewer photos, viewer comments, another look downtown Portland right now on what is a snow day for many. But please continue to chime in. We can't normally do this during our regular broadcasts on the air, but we're a little more loose on the social pages. So if you have a comment, share those with us, and we will pass those along. Okay. Rob, our producer, gets into my ear and says we have a producer asking about salt.
A viewer.
Not talking about salt on store shelves, right, Rob? He's talking about salt on the roads.
I like a little on my salad.
If we get a more specific question about salt, we will answer said question.
Okay, wait a minute. Everybody's talking at the same time. Producers are in my ear. Rod is waving like he's got something to say coming into the studio. Chris McGinnis is here.
I love to talk about salt.
You do? Do you have something to add?
Chris, by the way, who's the smartest guy in the room. I always say that about Mr. McGinnis. I was never book smart. Chris is book smart. I hate that about people, but Chris is a nice guy. So
that just means you really don't think I'm that smart. You say I got no street smarts.
So Chris, I did a quick Google check, and what I found was salt is effective on roads greatly, generally speaking, down through 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It does tend to be more effective when it's closer to 30 degrees, and then it gets less effective as you get colder, but it can have some effect all the way down below zero. What we're talking about is if you take a pool of salt water and you put it out, it's going to take a colder temperature to freeze that over than if you just, run some tap water and set that out in a bowl.
I would also think that it depends on how concentrated that is.
Yes.
You know, a teaspoon of salt in a bathtub of water versus, a 5-gallon bucket of salt in a bathtub of water probably makes a pretty substantial difference. So I know that Kimberly Dinwiddie from ODOT said that, hey, they were having problems with some of their de-icer, which they said had salt in it.
Yes.
But how much salt?
Which was kind of news to me, by the way, that the de-icer has salt in it as opposed to maybe some of the other concoctions that they have. I know like acetate is one of the acetic acid, the vinegary smelling stuff that they put down. In any event, we're kind of
here comes that book smart stuff again.
You can't see. My eyes are glazing over.
But what was interesting about that is that she says that they were having some problems with some of the areas that they had de-iced refreezing.
Yeah.
And so maybe that means that either, the concentration wasn't high enough, or maybe they need to switch materials.
Can we get out of the minutia for just a second and go big picture? Can you update us, Chris, on the roads and anything else?
Washington County letting us know, and I'm not sure if we've reported this yet, but they've activated their 3 snow zones. So, Cornell Road Road, Barnes Road, 175th between Shoals and Reichert. Is it Reichert or Reichert?
I don't know.
I like either pronunciation.
You know where it is if you live there. And you probably have a different way of pronouncing it than I do. But that's something I think that we haven't mentioned as we're looking at Drive 8 there. Where is Drive 8, by the way? Are they in West Lynn?
He was up at some point.
Oh, I know exactly where that is.
That is got to be out near Rosemont. Yes.
Rosemont Road, heading from Lake Oswego into West Lynn. He's getting very close to the Carney household, by the way.
Oh, is he going to give a door knock to the Carney household?
There are two 11-year-old boys in that house right now that are jumping for joy because they found out 15 minutes ago they don't have to go to school today. Yeah. So keep on track. But that is a road that I took into work today, and I realized as soon as I came down that road, the opposite direction Tim's driving right now, I said, there is no way there's going to be school today, or at least school on time in this neck of the woods.
That's about a 700-foot climb there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that?
I could probably do that on my bike backwards, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you mentioned schools, I also have a note from the producer that Nestucca and St. Helens, those districts have also closed this morning. So just FYI.
Yeah. We're getting close to the opening bell for most schools, so it's like time is now. If you're going to shut down for the day, I would imagine we're going to see a few more, but we're getting really close to opening bell for most school districts in the area. Can I share one more viewer comment?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I love hearing from the viewers. We don't get to do this, like I said, during the normal on-air broadcast, but we have a viewer named James who chimes in on Facebook. He says, at the risk of sounding like some grumpy old guy.
I like grumpy old guy.
He's about to sound like a grumpy old guy. He says, they never closed the schools for an inch of snow when I was a kid, and yes, I walked up not one, but 2 hills to what was then Jackson High School. He points out that Jackson High School is now a middle school. But James saying, man, they don't make them like they used to.
Do we have a date on that? Because I'm old too, and I did get a snow day when I was in grade school in McMinnville, absolutely.
Maybe you're not as old as you think.
Perhaps not.
James, we want your age. Don't need your social security number, just your date of birth, please, sir, if you have time.
Do you want to give us a little update on anything that you're working on that we need to know about?
Just it's 7:17 right now, and everybody's still freezing, so we've had no improvement, generally speaking, that I know of on icy roads overall. So we're waiting to get to about 9 o'clock. And by 9 o'clock, we should start to see, don't you think, Chris? Some of the 32s become 33, some of the 33 become 30, maybe not everywhere.
The salt helps a little bit when you get more cars grinding it into the glaze that's already out there, right?
I love being flanked by 2 meteorologists.
But, 9 o'clock hour is probably our first opportunity where we'll start looking for maybe some temperatures to be bumping upwards. By noon, the ice should all be gone.
By the way, in some of the areas that don't have ice, like the Sunset's actually in pretty good shape, so kudos to ODOT for keeping that really, really good. It's down to bare pavement, but the traffic's actually quite a bit heavier now. We're already plugged up on the Sunset out past 217 and really almost to Murray Boulevard. So you're looking at, oh, am I going to the wall? Okay, we're going to do a traffic report. My mistake. All right, well, let's go ahead and take you out there. We'll take you to the traffic map, and the color codes refer to the speeds on the freeways, and you can see we're still running a little thick there. One of the big trouble spots in Washington County was this. There was a crash on 219 near Shoals, near the intersection with Shoals Ferry, and ODOT still telling us that road, Highway 219, is still closed near that intersection. Let's get back to the roads on the east side. I know we had a mention of some power outages East Portland, where the wind may be blowing maybe some trees down and whatnot. This is 82nd Avenue near Southeast Duke. I'm bringing this up because the cameras that are a little farther north from here are all out. So I'm guessing that's indicative of the power outage that we're having there. Again, this was reported north of Burnside on 82nd. This is a live look near Duke. You can see the road looks a little slick there. Back to the west side freeways. This is nice to see. Check this out, guys. We're down to bare pavement, but it's pretty slow on 217 near Greenberg. So that's the latest live look at that road anyway. More to come.
All right, thank you, Chris. We want to check in as well with Maggie Vespa. She is one of our KGW crews out and about this morning. We checked in with her earlier, and you were over at the Sunset Transit Center, but now you have switched locations to a notorious trouble spot. Just earlier this week on Germantown, it was a nightmare for drivers there, Maggie.
Yeah, Brenda, exactly. I was going to say we're going to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit here and just say our producers quite frankly sent us out here because on Monday, I think it was Keeley was out here, and this was an absolute nightmare, as you said. But today, this road, we've driven up and down here, Germantown Road. We're just west of Kaiser Road, by the way, for some reference. It's okay. You can see what looks like some hard-packed snow, and it glistens like ice when you're driving down it. People were taking it a little bit slow in some patches, but no cars having trouble that we saw. We didn't have any trouble as well. People seem to be kind of going about their morning commutes, those who have commutes to embark on this morning if their work or school isn't canceled. This car coming around is probably going about the speed limit here. Again, everybody just taking it 5 to 10 miles slower at the most from what we can tell, and allowing for that extra room. But luckily, once again, it seems to be one of those kind of spotty snowfalls or spotty snow covers across our viewing area that we're becoming accustomed to this winter. This spot, a notorious trouble spot, as you said, actually looking pretty okay this morning. Guys, we'll throw it back to you.
All right, Maggie, thank you so much. We're going to send it over to Ashley here now because Ashley has been following closely our social media pages. So Ashley Korsland with us in studio. What do you have for us right now?
Yes, I just actually went back to the newsroom and sat down with our producer, Jessica, and she had kind of handpicked some fun pictures and videos. So we're going to show them here. This one comes to us from Patrick Briggs. He says, some snow in Sherwood this morning. And this is my favorite part. As a California transplant, he says, I am loving this. So good to have you here in our area. Enjoy the snow. Next up, Mac Fitzgerald says, second snow day in a week. Mac is from Salem, hashtag Salem Life. Hey, don't forget, use the hashtag I am at PDX because that's how we are finding all your weather photos and your videos. This is just a beautiful one. This was producer Jess's favorite. Oh no, what had happened? Oh, it went away. Okay, here we're back. This is one of our favorites from Kelly Berlin from Seaside. You guys, look how pretty this looks like. It was before sunrise this morning, kind of misty out there on the water. This one is my personal favorite from Margot Lewis. You guys, look, this is an Alaskan Malamute just prancing around in the snow. That dog is so excited. I think that's my favorite. That's the cutest video of the day. It says, that feeling when you see the snow. And this one, again, from Patrick, we showed you earlier. So that's from Sherwood. I thought we had one. Do we have one coming from Redmond, guys? No, bummer, because the Redmond picture had a ton of snow. But again, we are combing through social media. Wherever you want to post it, use the hashtag I am at PDX, and we will find it. Grab your photos, and we'll share them here on our extended coverage. So, guys, back to you.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Ash. All right, we also want to check in with Keely Chalmers. She's been standing out in the cold for us for hours now. So, Keely, you're over on the east side in Southeast, right at 82nd.
That's right. We were down at 82nd and Foster. Now we're at 82nd and East Burnside, where you can see the traffic signals not working right now. There is a power outage in this area. Pacific Power says at last check about 3,700 customers were without power in East Portland, kind of southeast Portland area. And this is taking place north of Stark, down towards I-84 and in between about 122nd and 70th. So you can see not only are traffic signals out, but obviously no power in the businesses around here as well. Just spoke with somebody at the Chevron, one of the attendants, and he said one of his colleagues heard what sounded like an explosion around 5 o'clock this morning. He thinks it was a transformer because seconds after that, everything out here went dark, lost power. Right now, they're unable to pump gas. In fact, you can see it's dark inside. He told me that they don't have any heat either because they have electric heat. So right now, they are very chilly inside there. The temperature at last check, 32 degrees, so we're at freezing right now. Folks who are depending on the electricity to heat their homes and their businesses, obviously out of luck right now, having to bundle up to stay warm. Now, Portland police are asking drivers to use these intersections, to treat these intersections here where the power is out, where the signals are not working, as four-way stops. We have seen some drivers do that. We have seen other drivers just zoom right through here. But again, that is a safety concern. Lots of intersections with their traffic signals not working right now. So again, the message from the police, Portland Police, is to treat these as four-way stops. We'll be out here throughout the morning monitoring the situation, and we'll give you updates on this power outage throughout the morning. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Keely, thanks a lot. You know, our viewers are monitoring the situation as well. We love that we get this instant feedback. If you're watching on our KGW TV Facebook page right now, you can chime in. We're encouraging questions, poignant questions that we that we can hopefully answer for you.
Pointed.
But yeah, there's that too. And not a question. She just points out, Tualatin got snow. Thank you, Ann Meath, for being our Tualatin weather reporter this morning. But here is a question. Where's it at right here? Melinda K. Bergeron says, when will the wind go away? And I think she's pointing that one to you,
Does she live out in East County? Does it say where she lives?
Does not say where she is. Melinda K. Bergeron simply says, when will the wind go away?
East County, I mean, when I hit the interstate bridge over the Columbia this morning, I mean, it was like both hands on the wheel. You could really feel the wind shooting through there. So those gusts of 40 miles per hour, maybe even higher in some spots, we think will be cut back down to more like 25 to 30 mile per hour gusts this afternoon. But overall, if you live in a spot and you're just tired of the east winds, more days than not through the mid part of next week are at least going to be noticeably breezy in those areas. But the extreme stuff we think goes away this afternoon.
Okay, that's a pretty decent answer this time of year. Okay, we want to bring in this morning Hannah Schaefer. I almost wanted to call her Hillary. Sorry, Hannah. She is with the Portland Bureau of Transportation this morning. We've been talking to you for a few hours now. Can you give us an update around the metro area about any trouble spots that our viewers need to know about and any streets that are causing your crews problems?
Yeah, we are not noticing any particular problem areas. What we are seeing across the city is slick conditions as people get out and drive and melt some of that snow. And then because temperatures are still so cold out there, it's freezing right back up. So we have crews stationed across the city, and they are applying sand and gravel, salt on our salt routes, treating those areas where slick spots are popping up and trying to make it as safe as possible. But that being said, we really need people to take it slow, use extra caution. If you don't need to head out this morning, it's probably your best bet is to stay home and watch from your living room instead of heading out on the road. So just please take your time, leave extra room to stop, and know that block by block, those conditions could change. There could be a slick spot ahead while everything seems fine, and then you'll hit a spot and it won't feel as fine anymore.
But Hannah, you've mentioned the salt routes. Can you call an audible in your crews if it's not an actual designated salt route? If there's a problem, can you just put down salt if it's not a typical route? What kind of leeway do your people have?
We make that call as the conditions worsen. At this point, doesn't look like we are applying salt in additional areas. That's a decision that we make with our leadership and in coordination with other city bureaus, because there are some concerns about using salt in other parts of the city. So we try to maintain our salt routes as only those areas that we put down salt. Sometimes that will change.
Kimberly Didwitty joining us again, Portland Bureau of Transportation.
No, Hannah Schaefer.
Oh my gosh, Hannah Schaefer.
You went ODOT on me. I tried to call the poor woman Hillary.
We had this problem last week, Hannah. I even pointed out she has the same last name as my mother's side of the family. My mother's maiden name was Schaefer, and yet I continue to blow it on television and online. Hannah Schaefer, you do a wonderful job. You have a beautiful name. I'll never forget it again. That's a promise. Thank you for joining us.
It's worth
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, Hannah. It's worth mentioning, I am correct, aren't I, when I say we really haven't had that bullseye news story this morning where there was one road where we had the semis get stuck and everything backed up. So it seems like for the most part, any problems have kind of dissolved themselves and things have been moving.
Yeah, because that was about 3 o'clock this morning when we first had that big stall.
Yeah, one problem area, Nyberg Road by I-5, but that cleared up as the morning commute thickened. The problems lessened, which was nice to see.
So good news. It doesn't sound like it's a total catastrophe zone out there on a Wednesday morning like it has been at times this month. Here's a look at our radar right now, and this has been pretty consistent. By the way, I do want to point out the forecast. If you're watching us from Eastern Oregon, good morning to you. Out in Pendleton and getting into the Blue Mountains between Pendleton and down into LeGrand and Baker City, forecast amounts for up to 4 inches, so not a ton. Burns, we've had a concern of freezing ice spots. Radar has been showing most of that salmon color off to the east of you. And then here on the west side, no big snow events. Even in the gorge today, it's like 1 to 3 expected. Up on Mount Hood, 2 to 5 inches today. They only picked up about an inch last night up on Mount Hood. And the coast range, it's been similar amounts of just a few inches potentially. This has been light. This is snow. This is radar right now where you see the white all the way off of the coast thanks to an east wind direction and freezing temperatures. We've had some light dustings being reported places like Seaside, Gearhart, and down in Depot Bay and the golf course of Salishan. We saw some snow on the ground as well. Anyway, Doesn't look like anybody's really reporting that much of additional accumulations, maybe just some light dustings we've reported up in Clark County in the past hour. Downtown Portland, this is generally a half of an inch of snow on the ground. Temperature at the airport's been 32, 33 all morning. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club. We had more snow in Beaverton, less in Hillsboro. We had reports of an inch in Beaverton, but barely enough to not even completely get all of the green spots white out on the golf course there in Aloha. I do want to point out, we're still thinking once we get into the 9 o'clock hour, that's when we'll start to see more and more areas start to warm up, and by noon, all this will probably be gone. Certainly will be above freezing, there won't be any icy conditions. So what's coming up real quick? Well, here we are seeing above freezing temperatures, maybe near 40 at 5 p.m. this afternoon in some spots, with rain showers passing the city in green. Again, the bluish, purplish color, these are snow showers. Here we are tomorrow morning. Another shot of some snow showers passing into the city. Worst case scenario, enough for another dusting, enough for another problem period of time tomorrow morning. Once this mixes to rain, here we are at 12:30, now seeing rain over downtown Portland. It's possible that even tomorrow evening we stay above freezing in many areas. There's rain on the radar. Rain showers tomorrow overnight, and then by Friday morning the chance of moisture period quickly goes away, and then we get going into that dry weekend. For now, most of us are still freezing. Again, we're thinking 9 o'clock hour we'll start to look for some improving conditions, and eventually today we'll be warming up to about 40 degrees. We haven't been reporting a lot on the mountain passes. Again, they only picked up about an inch of snow last night. They're plowed, but obviously very, very snow covered. And our 7-day forecast, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all dry. I'm still thinking Saturday could hit 52. Are you ready?
Oh,
hallelujah!
yes.
Thank you very much. 52.
Thank you.
Hey, we have our friend Ashley Corzine standing by. We're also using a moving camera to get to her. I'll keep up with
There's the moving camera.
There's the camera, and there's Ashley. She's right here on this side of the studio.
Walk into this monitor because, guys, we are loving the pictures and the videos you're sending in. We want to share a couple more here. Bill Brown, a little snow in the hills of South Salem. That's pretty there. Allison sent this one, a light snow dusting in Happy Valley. Good morning to everybody, all our viewers out there in Happy Valley. Next up, Beverly. Okay, this is Redmond. This is why I wanted to show you guys. You think we have snow. Look at this. I mean, we're talking, some people out there saying they got like a foot, couple feet. I don't even know how much. I'd have to ask Rod, but that's an awful lot. And we have a couple more pictures to show you. Charles, Portland Golf Club from his back deck this morning. Not too bad, not a lot, but that sure is pretty. Thanks, Charles, for that picture. And our last one, the same one. Bill, you get double shout outs today. Good morning to everybody in Salem. Again, keep sending us those pictures, your video, especially your pictures of your kiddos or your pets out in the snow. We love seeing that. Use the hashtag IamUpPDX. Guys, I'll walk back with you.
Come on
I'll
over.
walk the camera over. We're going back to the
set. Is that on
set.
a leash? Do you have that camera on a leash,
do.
Ashley?
Come on, camera, Jay. This way.
What are you saying about the poor guy?
Well, we appreciate everyone who stayed with us. Obviously, we ran a little overtime today. We wanted to stay online, though, to bring you the latest on today's weather situation. We will continue to cover this story on our digital platforms, and I believe you have a noon broadcast.
There is a noon broadcast.
And I wanted to remind people, obviously at noon we'll have the very latest on the sad story of Secretary of State Dennis Richardson passing away, and we'll have more on that on the news at noon.
All right, we'll be back here. You'll be out there watching, so thank you much. Have a great morning.